Initiative petition reform is not a no-win situation, but it is very easy to lose one way or another when you tackle an issue. But we found an approach that I believe works in Ohio. The Ohio House in March of this year passed legislation that I sponsored to improve the state's initiative and referendum process and protect Ohio's state constitution. I call it the Ballot Integrity Act. As you may know, there are only 24 states that allow citizen initiative initiatives. The Ballot Initiative Strategy Center in Washington, D.C. gave Ohio a grade of 68 out of 100 for its laws governing ballot issues. That's a D. I figured we could do better, and my colleagues in the House agreed. As I mentioned, in order for the Citizens Ballot Initiative to get on a statewide ballot, backers must collect a certain number of signatures from every county in the state, and it's in that process that we find the problems. Ohio has seen an increase in ballot initiatives in recent years, and along with those rising numbers come an increase in the number of people who do not follow the rules. It's especially galling and seriously detrimental to the government and its people when well-heeled interest groups promoting a ballot issue use deceptive and even illegal tactics to get on the ballot. It's one thing if Joe Citizen makes an honest mistake. It's quite another when a highly paid, highly organized campaign sets out to deliberately deceive the very voters they purport to be trying to help. We have seen those results. In past elections, there were allegations against one group backing a statewide issue that allowed felons to circulate petitions and gather signatures through an out-of-state firm hired to head that effort. In one county, the signatures of 23 dead people showed up on petitions. The previous year, petition circulators worked for a different ballot issue, flat out lied to people they asked to sign their petition about what the measure would do. The reports of misconduct among petition circulators are widespread. It doesn't matter what the issue is and what the problem with the system. Part of the problem is the people who don't follow the rules, and part of the problems are the rules themselves. Ohio's laws governing ballot initiatives unfairly place the burden on low-level petition circulators rather than the companies that hire them, don't properly train them or train them to do anything or say anything to get the signatures. The legislation that the Ohio House passed, which also has had 3 hearings in the Ohio Senate, strengthens the laws to limit petition fraud and protect direct democracy. It's designed to protect the integrity of the ballot system by promoting better accountability and enhanced oversight and enforcement. Joel Foster from the Ballot Initiative Strategy Center in D.C. testified in committee that if the legislation becomes law, Ohio's grade would rise from a D to an A, and Ohio would be a national leader in ballot integrity. That's what I want, and I will be sharing our experiences with you today. The bill that I passed out of the House and sponsored does the following things. It requires the Secretary of State, who is our Chief Elections Officer, to develop cost-effective training programs for circulators to inform them of the laws that apply to petition circulation and require that all paid supervisors at the petition firms complete that training. It also requires them to advise their circulators of the training. Petitioners or petition entity firms shall inform paid or volunteer circulators of the availability of this program, and if the circulators participate in the training, they will be deemed to comply with the requirement in this bill that says they understand and they have read the laws pertaining to petition circulation. The bill does not require volunteer circulators or the paid circulators to take this training course. It requires petition firms who pay their circulators to get a license from the Secretary of State. This does not include petitioners who use volunteers. It allows the Secretary of State to deny a license to a petition entity that violated petition laws in Ohio or any other state. It allows the Secretary of State to revoke the license of a petition entity not in compliance with Ohio law. Revoking their license is a major step against a petition outfit, and again, not a decision that will be taken lightly if we are to protect the rights of citizens to petition their government. So the legislation outlines in detail what would constitute grounds to deny or revoke a license if the petition entity knew or should have known of any of the following occurring. 1.
Like that should have.
That was added as an amendment. No comment. Misrepresentation of the contents, the purpose, or the effect of the petition for the purpose of persuading a person to sign or refrain from signing the petition. Forgery of a registered elector's signature. Circulation of a petition or part petition by anyone other than the circulator who has signed the circulator document. Use of a false circulator name or address in a circulator statement. Payment of money or anything of value to a person for the purpose of inducing the person to sign or withdraw the person's name from a petition. Circulation of a petition or part petition by anyone who is not registered as a petition circulator. When a complaint is filed with the Secretary of State alleging a violation, an adjudication hearing will be held. If the Secretary determines the petition entity authorized or knowingly permitted any of the acts I mentioned, the Secretary shall revoke the petition entity's license for 90 to 180 days and invalidate any signatures obtained in violation of the law. For any subsequent offense, the revocation would be for 180 days to 1 year and invalidate any signatures obtained in violation of the law. The goal of these rules and regulations, the reason the state would be able to revoke or deny a license, is to get these groups to train their employees in petition circulation laws. Because if their circulators are violating the laws, they can lose their license, hence they lose their ability to do business in Ohio, hence they lose their profits. Ohio would require all petition circulators to register with the Secretary of State. If that office determines a petition entity provided compensation to a circulator without first obtaining a license, the state can fine the company up to $100 per day per circulator for each day petitions were circulated. And we don't want cheaters back on the streets. This law would prohibit anyone who pleads guilty to or is convicted of an offense involving identity theft, fraud, or forgery under Ohio law, federal law, or law of any other state from circulating or witnessing the signing of an initiative or referendum petition. The law would also make it harder to petition circulators to get away with causing problems. It lets the Secretary of State invalidate submitted signatures if fraud exists while circulating petitions. We also added a requirement that reports a scam we heard about while taking testimony in committee on this bill. We decided to require that the title of a petition to be reviewed by the State Attorney General and included at the top of each signature page of the petition. What was happening was that some circulators were circulating 2 petitions, but only identifying one issue and asking the signer to sign in 2 places, one on a blank sheet of paper. By having the title identified at the top of the page, the citizen will have the opportunity to know what they are signing, and the bait and switch tactics would be eliminated. We're not trying to be draconian here. The Secretary of State can reinstate a license after it is revoked, but first the office has to consider whether that petition circulator still has any director, owner, or officer, or anyone else in the top positions that had a role in the problems that got their license revoked in the first place. The state will also take a close look at any remedial action that could make a difference in whether future violations are likely to be avoided. And that is our goal, avoiding violations that undermine Ohio's state constitution, our system of government, and our ability to respond to the will of the people. My plan for Ohio is to set higher standards and create greater transparency, better accountability, and stronger oversight and enforcement for petitions and ballot issues. I'll keep you posted on how we do.